I talk to real estate agents almost every single day, and they tell me their number one problem is generating enough leads so that they can start getting new clients. In fact, I put out a recent post on the YouTube channel, and I said, hey, what is your biggest challenge in your business right now? And by far, the biggest challenge that you guys said is lead generation, how to actually go out there and get clients. So in this video, I'm going to show you one of the fastest strategies that you can use right after you watch this video that you can use in your business today to start getting clients immediately. And this is a strategy that I don't know if I've ever even shared it on the channel before. So I'm going to jump right into it, take some notes. I'm going to share my screen. Feel free to copy this entire strategy. You can copy and paste every single thing that I'm going to give to you in this video. You have my permission to do so. All right. So what is the strategy? The strategy is what I call the buyer wish list method. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are actually going to build here. I'll blow this up so you guys can see that better. How's that? Probably a little bit better. Again, we call it the buyer wish list method. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing, how it all works. All right. So the idea here is that we are going to first build two things, really. One, we're going to build our own buyer demand. Okay. So we're going to create our own marketplace of buyers. And we're going to do that by creating your own off-market list of inventory. So you're creating your own marketplace of buyers and sellers that other real estate agents won't be able to compete with. All right. So that's the strategy. So you're saying, okay, well, cool. How do we do this, Brandon? All right. So let's go on to step number 2. Step number 2, and again, you can copy and paste this entire thing, is to actually build the buyer demand. So what you're going to do, you could do it right after this video. You're going to copy and paste this and post this on your Facebook or your Instagram. When you post this, be sure you include a picture of a home that would be considered a highly desired property in your marketplace. So you know your market better than me. Make sure that you include an image of a home, of a property that would be considered highly desired. Okay, so we're going to use that to capture the attention. And here's exactly what I want you to put inside the post. All right. And I want you to think about this in terms of you being the buyer. Okay. As soon as I read this to you, as soon as you read this, you're going to say, wow, that's going to resonate like crazy with people that are looking to buy a house right now. So here's what the post is going to say. If you've been trying to buy a home, you know the struggle. Number 1, we're in the biggest housing inventory deficit this country has ever seen, which means there's barely anything on the market that you'd even consider. 2, worse yet, even if you do see a home that you like, there's multiple offers within 2 hours of that home hitting the market, and buyers are bidding way over the asking price. Now, that's going to trigger everybody who's been trying to buy a house. Okay, so we're not done yet. The post goes on to say, well, I have something exciting for you. What if I could get you a list of potential dream homes that had everything you wanted in the exact neighborhood you wanted, all without any competition from any other buyers in the market? Would you want a list like this? Even you as a realtor listening to this say, Brandon, how in the world are we going to do this? I want the list. If so, all you have to do is comment below with list, and I'll send you a direct message with the details. You're going to copy and paste that exact post on your Facebook and on your Instagram. Well, Brandon, how in the world are we going to do this? All right, so step 3. You are going to get a ton of people who respond, list, 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 list. You're going to generate so much opportunity off this one single post for free, might I add. And then what you're going to do is simply message every single one of those people, and you're going to get their wish list. You're going to say, hey, which neighborhoods are you looking at? Which price point? What does the property need to have? And you're going to communicate to them to say, okay, once I get this information from you, I will go into my off-market strategy, and I will provide you with a list of properties that are not on the open market that could be potentially perfect for you. So you're going to do all that through direct message. That's step number 3. Super, super easy. Don't overthink that. So you're just getting their wish list. You might have 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14 people that comment list, and you're creating your own buyer demand. All right. So step 3 is you're just going to send all those people a message and get their wish list from them on all the neighborhoods that they want in your local market. That's what you're going to do in step 3. Then in step 4, we're actually going to build out the inventory. So remember I told you, now you've got your own buyer marketplace that you generated like magic. Now we're going to create our own inventory. All right. So how are we going to do that? So we're going to leverage the buyer wish list using the I have a buyer for your home approach. So rather than going and communicating with homeowners to try to get them to list their home with you, which is what I think a lot of you are trying to do, and it's very, very challenging. That's why you're here watching this video. You're like, what is the easiest, fastest way to generate a client? We can now leverage a buyer, a specific human being, and we know exactly what their criteria is. We can use that information to now contact the homeowner, and we invert the process. So now we're going to communicate, number 1, with all off-market listings. We're going to go into that specific neighborhood using your MLS, and we're going to look at all the off-market properties first. So all of the canceled or unconditionally withdrawn listings, all of the expired listings, and all of the old expired listings. And rather than trying to communicate with them to try to get them to list their house on the market, because what a lot of them say? Well, they say, yeah, I would love to, but where am I going to go? There's nothing on the market. Now we're going to approach it with, I have the actual buyer for your home. And so that conversation is way different. You're actually creating tangible value in the marketplace, both for a potential buyer and a potential seller, because they both have the same problem. They both have the same problem. These off-market properties couldn't find the buyer. You have the solution to that problem. And the buyers that you've just created can't find the home that they want because there's no inventory. You've just created your own inventory and you've created your own buyer demand. The next group of people you're going to contact are all of the for sale by owners in the neighborhoods that they want to go into. What does every for sale by owner want? You to bring them a buyer. Well, now you've got that opportunity. Number 3, you're going to contact all of the absentee owners in that neighborhood. You're going to search them all up in your MLS, see all the property owners who own a property in that neighborhood where it's not their primary residence. So you go to occupancy inside of your MLS, it says 0%. Then you know it's an absentee owner. We're going to communicate to all of them, thirdly. And then lastly, we're going to go out to all of the owner-occupied properties. So all of the rest of the homeowners with the I have a buyer for your home approach. We can knock the door. We can make phone calls. We can send cards. We can note cards, handwritten cards. We can send them a message on Facebook to say, hey, I'm working with a couple who's looking to purchase a home just like yours in the neighborhood. And, I know that with inventory being so tight, I don't know if you would be open to selling if you potentially had a buyer and you didn't have to go through the headache of potentially listing the home and doing all of that. But I have the Joneses and they're looking for X, Y, and Z. They're approved up to X, Y, Z per mount. They're looking for a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, just like yours, colonial. And so I'd love to show it to them and see if we can't have something make sense for both you and them. And so now again, we're communicating with the homeowner with tangible value. We're not approaching them with, hey, do you want to list your house? No, I'm not interested in listing my house. Again, that's a separate approach. I have over 1,000 videos on the channel about how to do that. Takes a lot of skill. We're talking about all the people that are struggling to get leads and clients right now. We can utilize this strategy. So that's step 4, is to build out the inventory. So we're going to communicate with all 4 of these types of homeowners, and we're going to build a list of all of the homeowners who say, yeah, if you have a buyer, we would be open to moving. We'd be open to selling. We'd be open to that. So you are generating this list. Okay. Then step 5, really easily, simply, we're going to then present that list to the potential buyers. And the goal is to try and schedule an in-person showing, because the goal now, when we talk about tangible value, is you brought an off-market opportunity to a buyer, which is what you offered in the first place. That's real tangible value for them, because you are now, you were able to do something that no other agent in the marketplace has been able to do, which is produce a potential dream home for them with no competition that no other agent has been able to do. So working with buyers, there's tangible value there. You've now gone into the marketplace with that buyer, created your own inventory, your own marketplace, and we've produced maybe a potential match. And so we're going to, hopefully, the goal is to convert that into an actual showing. Well, then step 6 is then to convert. Well, what do I mean by convert? Well, one of 3 things will happen when you use this strategy. Number 1, maybe the home that you found is a perfect fit for the buyer you generated. And you put that deal together, and you then therefore earn yourself compensation, right? Pretty simple. Number 2, if that home is not a fit for that person, you now have what? A seller listing opportunity that you would have never had before. And how did you get that opportunity? Because you demonstrated to that homeowner that you're the type of agent who can actually provide value. You're not all talk. You've actually produced a tangible result. You brought a potential buyer through their home without even having to list the home. Just imagine what we can do when you actually list the property for sale. Now you have that relationship with that homeowner that otherwise you wouldn't have. Or then number 3, that property is not a fit for that buyer because you've created value for them that no other agent was able to do. Now you've earned yourself a buyer client along the way that you can go sell them a different home. So this is the easiest, the fastest way to generate opportunities. And oh, by the way, it's instant, it's free, it's low resistance. When we look at this strategy, there is no other better opportunity that deals with all of the excuses I hear from agents on why they can't generate opportunities. So we don't have to buy any leads. You don't have to build a pipeline and wait a long time for this. It's instant. You don't need a lot of sales skills, so you don't have to deal with any rejection because you're approaching this from a service perspective. You're giving people exactly what it is that they want. And it allows you to generate opportunities immediately in your business. If any of that is unclear, let me know what questions you have in the comments.